Hey everyone, welcome to the first episode of Consulting Vibes. This is a video podcast that we are starting to look at consulting in general from consultants' lens. So today we have two guests from technology consulting industry. One who is relatively new to the industry, Harshit, and the other one who is, I would like to call, a seasoned consultant in the industry, with whom we'll be chit-chatting for a little while to get to know about them, their point of view into the consulting world in general, and then look at all things from a consultant lens. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you so much, Anil, for inviting us to the show.
Okay. Well, you are very new to the IT and technology consulting world, Harshit. What does consulting mean to you?
So talking about consultancy, I have been a consultant from past because my father is into finance and I had some knowledge from him. So with that, I used to consult my friends for this, how to invest in mutual funds, how to invest in market.
Interesting.
And how to save taxes and all. So I got a little taste there about consultancy, and then now I am in IT from last 1 year. So now I am just exploring this IT consultancy.
Lovely. So you're saying that you have been doing some kind of financial consulting by virtue of your father being in that industry.
Nice.
That gives you a consulting perspective, and that's the perspective you are bringing into the technology consulting. Interesting. Did he give you any tips?
That's what I was going to ask. Is it free of cost?
No, it's paid.
We charge for it?
Yeah.
Damn it.
It's business.
It's business. What does consulting mean to you, Bhupi?
I think from what I see is in day-to-day life, we are interacting with a lot of people who are consulting to us, or either we are giving some consulting to them. So it's not specific to some industry or a job or, some, kind of work that you're doing. It's more towards, what you know and you share.
Okay.
So that someone also gets help out of it, and you can, make a difference in their decisions, and, you can make a difference.
Help them.
Yeah, you help them.
Okay.
Basically, yeah. You help them in terms of growing or whatever, goals they are trying to achieve.
Interesting. If I ask for one advice that you have to give to Harshit,
Okay.
because he is relatively new to the world of consulting, what would that be?
Specific from the lens of consulting, I'll say judge first before going in terms of advising something, because you should know entirely what they're looking for before you advise something. No matter about things, but sometimes it's better to be a good listener first, right, before we go ahead and share anything with them.
Interesting. Now, can you give him a tip in return of this advice?
Yeah, I will.
Equity he has to buy.
It should give me around 7-8% return.
7-8%?
Not much.
Not much.
Let's do it after this.
Okay.
All right. Well, that's great. So consulting, what I feel in general is about helping someone with something that they want to do, but they don't know how to do it, right?
Yeah.
And that's fun. But as a consultant, when you are giving an advice to somebody, it doesn't come easy for people to take advice on the face value, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like, giving advice is easier, but someone accepting or following through that advice is pretty hard. Have you come across any such challenges in your consulting experience so far?
Yeah, there has to be challenge, because it's, as you said, it's not quite easy for people to accept, because sometimes when you're, trying to, get a consultant advice, somewhere in back of your head, you always expect that the advice will come in your favor, right? Or what you're thinking maybe, right? So you have that lens of, pre-assuming what advice may come or what things may come in as a decision for you. But sometimes it's tough because whatever you have played in your mind because of your knowledge, because definitely if you are giving advice to me or consulting me, I don't know, I'm not the master of it, right? But based on my premature knowledge, I may assume things that, okay, I know this, so Anil is also going to, frame something like this. But if Anil comes and, gives me a different advice, which may put me in a situation where I have to put in some efforts in terms of finances or in terms of, any additional things that I have to do to make that advice work. I think that's where the challenge starts. And it's also important. That's where, if you have listened to me and you know my challenges, you will be better in a position where you pitch in the consulting advice.
Interesting. But that reminds me of our childhood, right? So that makes our parents probably the best consultants, right?
Yeah.
They are trying to give us a lot of advices.
Yeah.
But do you guys really listen to them or to their advice?
No, that's what I said, right? Premature knowledge. So I had some premature knowledge at that time. So I will not listen to them at that time. But now I know, if I would have listened to them, things may have been different.
Wow.
So it basically means that first of all, maturing your client and giving them knowledge about the industry, then consulting them.
Interesting. So do you have any story from the past for our audience to know where your parents gave you an advice you did not follow through and later felt that you should have?
So talking about advice, like during Diwali, my parents used to give me this gun like that has crackers in it, and it used to shoot, like we used to shoot it, but we used to shoot it like from a far distance. But my father always told me that always try to keep a distance between the gun and your eye. But like watching movies, we see that we shoot it like this. So I did made a shot like this, and then that popped into my eyes, and that caused me pain, and then I was regretting that I would have listened to them.
Sure, you regret.
So that means if you are hiring a consultant, you better listen to them.
Yeah.
They may have something to offer to you that you don't know, or you know prematurely.
Yeah.
And then later you may think that you should have followed through it.
Exactly. There will be a reason before you hire the consultant, right?
Yeah.
So believe in that reason.
Okay.
And you can trust them.
Otherwise you don't need a consultant.
Exactly.
Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. What inspired you to become a consultant so early in your career?
So as I told you that I was into consultancy like from past 4-5 years.
The financial
consulting.
Okay.
So then I tried let's explore it in my career. So I was initially, like from my school days, I was a bit fascinated with technology. So I like always had a mindset to do something in this IT. So that's why IT consultancy.
Okay. And how about you? What inspired you towards IT and technology consulting?
I think IT is different. Consulting is a byproduct of it, because during the course of time you gain the knowledge that you can share, that you can that you have experience, that things might go right in this direction, so that you can advise. I think consulting has always fascinated me because I believe in experiencing and gaining knowledge. Yeah. So once you have it, I think it's also good to share that knowledge, right? It's not specific to IT, but for whatever thing you may share with someone, that you may advise people that this is what I have done. I was doing this and this, and then maybe this helped me. So you can take this decision in your life if you are in the same situation. I think gaining the experience first is my way of consulting, so that I can first experience whatever I want to pitch in or I want to consult with my clients.
So speaking of experience, Bhupendra comes from a staffing background, which is non-consulting.
Yes.
So that is making me curious now. How big of this transition has been for you from a non-consulting profile to a consulting profile?
It was a big transition, and I remember, I think I was in this transition period for, I think, 6-7 months, because it's quite easy for you to decide that this is where I want to go, but it's quite hard when you follow the path, and you have to stick to the thought that you know, why this came to you and why you decided to be there. So you have to follow the path. So I think, yes, initially when I was in IT industry, IT staffing, so at that time I was, I got little familiar around Salesforce, how things are working. That fascinated me the most is that what all opportunities it holds for, from a perspective of a growing market, because definitely.
So it's the
opportunities,
that inspired you to explore
exactly.
this.
And morely, I think, moreover, if I have to look back in the state, I was more inspired because the industry holded a lot of opportunities for the newcomers as well, right? Irrespective of other industries which might not hold that many opportunities for new beginners, but Salesforce does. So that inspired me, and by the course of time, I gained knowledge and I started.
Fair enough.
In this.
And speaking of experience, you hardly have any experience, right? So when you meet your friends over the weekend who are not so much into the technology consulting side, or they are doing something else, what kind of conversations do you have?
So like when I talk to them
around consulting, of course.
Around consulting, so like when I start talking about technology, they get bored of, like they don't have any idea about that, so they get bored. But talking about the finance consulting and consulting, like in any direction, like how you can grow your path in career, how you can grow yourself. So I consult them around this.
So do you think there is a fundamental difference between a consulting mindset or a non-consulting mindset?
Definitely. So talking about consultancy, in the consultancy, I believe that we first understand the business. We understand how the things are working. We just don't dump directly into technology. So it's not just go write code and solve a problem. It's about understanding the whole process, where we can add technology, where it can leverage us, and where it can slow us down. So we have to like keep both sides, and we have to make decisions based on that.
So in other words, being a consultant, you shoulder a lot more accountability than just being a subject matter expert of something.
Exactly.
Because someone is consulting you with a lot of expectations in mind to help them achieve something. So that puts an additional accountability on your shoulders.
I think in that sense, on the same point, I think because you are in a position where a lot of stakes you hold, because your decisions matter a lot to the business. I think that's where you also feel, that your decision, whatever you're consulting to them, should be, on the basis of every stone that you have unturned during that process.
Interesting.
And I believe being a consultant, you should have a vast knowledge around what is the technology and what is the business process and what technology we should use. So basically everything we should know, knowledge. Each and everything.
Knowledge,
Unless you have knowledge, you can't consult.
You can't consult.
And experience.
And experience.
So it's knowledge and experience coming together. Otherwise you can't consult and consult right.
Right.
Okay. Exactly. Speaking of experience, what is the most enjoyable part of consulting for you?
Most enjoyable part, for anyone, I think if you know something, and if I ask you that, if you're 100% confident about it, you will definitely love to tell me, this is what I did in my past. This is something that can help you, right? So consulting, the sharing of knowledge, the sharing of your experience is one part that I love about. The second part is it gives you immense opportunities, to understand the business, different business, because IT industry is not specific to a particular segment of industries, right? In IT industry, you will figure out that there are a lot of, every client comes up who's having a different business model, right? So you get an opportunity to understand different variety of businesses, how they are running, how things are working in their business, right? So every business comes a new flavor of challenge that, this might not be working for them. This might not be working for them.
Every day, new day with a new challenge?
New challenge and a new solution that you think for.
So it's more of an adrenaline rush. Then.
Yeah, exactly.
That
So you
that's
are always
the
on
enjoyable
your
part.
you are always on your toes, to figure out things. So
But you are fairly new. You are still have a long way to go and accumulate experience and knowledge both.
Yeah.
So what makes consulting interesting for you?
So, like coming from the IT technology background, I see problem solving a very big thing to like run upon. So I believe where I can solve problem, that's my game.
Have you solved a problem anytime recently that you're proud of?
Yeah. So recently with one of our client, I helped them make their sales process automated. So there I helped them.
So now it happens automatically?
Yeah, so like for the first time it was very difficult, but yeah, now if it's my second, third time, and it will keep on improving day by day.
Interesting.
Nice.
Interesting. How about you? Any recent
yeah,
examples?
I remember, when we were doing some discovery workshops in UAE. So there was one client, and they were like, very keen in implementing a technology where they were trying, to just to create, just not to give additional resources or pay additional cost. They were trying to make a decision. That decision was, just to dump their data in somewhere so that they might not have to put something additional efforts in terms of cost or resources, just things may get easy for them. But I think at that time we realized that this is something that, because that was not our purview. Even, our technology, boundaries were was not falling in that part of decision, but still we decided, to guide them that if you do that, these all things might not fall in place, and this is something that might go wrong in terms of bigger perspective. If you look from what you're trying to achieve out of this program in a 12 or 18 months of program. So I think they understood the value that, what we are saying may make sense, and they experience that.
But that makes it really hard though, right?
Yeah.
Because as a consultant, it's very hard to draw boundary line
Exactly.
with respect to how far you go with consulting, given that there is always some sort of a time, cost, and efforts associated with it. So how do you draw that boundary?
It's not about drawing the boundary in terms of you sharing the knowledge. It's in terms of, you drawing the boundaries in terms of taking the work. There are two different things, but that's a separate conversation. But I think while consulting, your consulting or your advice should not be specific towards what you're going to do.
Okay.
Right? It should be holistic in terms of what your business is trying to achieve, right? Whatever piece is coming in your way, if you think they may not help them, based on your knowledge, if they don't help them to achieve that, goal, somewhere that will also affect your path, your services.
It's a tricky business then.
It's a tricky business, yeah. Consulting is not that.
Okay, consulting or product?
I think consulting, because in product we have a single thing and we are just running on that. But in consultancy we have new challenges every day. In every another deal we have a different challenge that we need to solve.
Answer question on his behalf. Okay. Consulting or staffing?
Consulting.
Consulting?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
Okay.
Great.
Before we wind up, I would like to ask you also, because you have so much experience in this industry. So how about you telling us your experience around some of the most difficult decisions that client would have taken based on your consulting?
Quite a few interesting examples there, but as you have already called it out in different ways, that consulting is a tricky business.
Yeah.
Right? And a very recent example of this that I experienced personally was when I was renovating my house. Okay, I hired a consultant. We went through the exercise of what we are gonna do, how long it is gonna take, how much it will cost me, and everything looked great. And then we went into the execution. My expectation of renovation kept changing. My friends kept feeding ideas to me, and I was always on the hunt for a better things to do.
Yeah.
And as and when I had that idea, and I bounced it off with the consultant, the tricky nature of consulting kicked in with respect to cost, time, and efforts. But that's when I really understood that once you hire a consultant, you need to put your trust into them. You have to obviously tell them the constraints that you have and you would like them to operate into. But I think the biggest outcome of consulting you get by being flexible about it. I think that's where the returns are significantly higher, and that's what I tell my clients too. Trust me, trust my skills, trust my experience, trust my knowledge, and I will respect the constraints that you have to operate in. But be flexible about it. Things are gonna change. Your expectation is gonna change. Probably technology is gonna change. And as and when that happens, be flexible so that we can guarantee you better return on your investment. I think that's how I would like to summarize.
I think
It was other way around this time. You were client and they were consultant. So you felt it the other way.
That's why they say put yourself in client shoes, don't you?
We do listen this all the time.
You do this. All right, well, great.
Okay.
Thank you, gentlemen,
Thank
for
you so
being
much.
me on the first episode of Consulting Vibes. It's the consultant lens we are looking into, and I really wanted to learn from someone who is new to the consulting versus someone who has been for some time in a very nascent way. I found it very insightful, and I hope our audience will have a thing or two to pick up from this conversation. And if you have any ideas for our following episodes, please do share those with us, and we'll do our best to incorporate those. Thank you. Thank you for
so
listening
much.
to us, and
Thank
thank
you.
you for being here.
Thank you,
Thanks,
Anil, for
Anil.
hosting us.
Thank you.
Thank you.